Welcome to the Small Business Show, Mastermind Edition. My name is Swire from Garuda Promo. Today we're joined by the expert, Mike Castiglione from Sandler Training, Shannon Horton from Digitalfaces, and our guest today is Dan Hansen, Dan Go from DG Collision. Good morning, guys.
Hey, how are you, Swire?
Hey, Dan, before we start, can you please give us a quick bio and tell us what you do at DG Collision Center?
Okay, well, my name is Dan Hansen. I'm the owner of DG Collision in Covina, California. Our focus is repairing cars after a collision. I've been in the industry almost 30 years. I did an apprenticeship at 12 years old. So my heart is in this game, and that's pretty much it. We're here to fix cars.
Okay, so it's great that you start from a underage worker, to where you are right now. I know that, with COVID tying it all in, one of the, questions that you have is the overall marketing strategy for Collision Center, both offline and online. So question for you, Shannon, for Dan, his shop is physically located in Covina. And Dan, can you tell us some of the things that you have done and maybe some questions that you wanted to find out more in digital marketing?
Well, yeah, of course I can. Our focus is we want to get people within a certain distance, right? And let's say it's about 20-mile range, and that's usually about how far people are willing to drive to go to a collision repair shop. We've been joining local Facebook groups. They're working pretty well for us because we get to interact. Someone will ask for a body shop, and I'll message them right away. And usually I can pull them in and give them an estimate, stuff like that. Other stuff is we have a digital marketing company that, she works on our SEO. She has us posting on all the platforms daily, stuff like that. And I just want to come up with ways that are a little more effective for our market range.
Got it. And then with the SEO, how long have you guys been doing the SEO for?
A little over a year.
Okay, got it. And are you guys ranked right now on first pages of a couple?
Yeah, we are. We are ranked first page, and all our Google reviews and everything are all 5-star.
Perfect. And what about Facebook ads? Have you guys been doing any Facebook ads?
Really seldom. I've done a few, and they haven't really done. They haven't really been effective. So maybe the way I did it was wrong. Like most of the Facebook, I don't know if it's an ad or a promotion. I'll just boost a post. You know what I mean? Got it.
Okay, that makes sense. In your particular situation, what I would probably also do is there's an objective on Facebook that's just called brand awareness. And it's a lower cost per impression because You're not asking for a message. You're not asking for like a lead, because in your business, it's basically when I need it, I'm going to, like I'm going to need a
right. To do something. We want them to remember DG Collision when they're in an accident.
Exactly. So you can kind of do two strategies, especially with Facebook business page, is you can either allocate a certain amount of dollars every month to just go out to brand awareness within a 20-mile radius of people that you're around. Or what you can do is create an engagement strategy that gets people to like the page. And so that way you boost to only people that like their page and their friends, because it's way cheaper to boost to people that like your page and their friends as opposed to a cold audience. So The way to do that is, okay, how do I create engaging posts? Because on your Facebook page, I'm pretty sure you know that when someone likes, hearts, laughs, any of those reactions, you can click on those reactions and invite them to like your page. So the whole goal will be, how can I just develop all these followers? So that way, again, I'm just boosting the people that like my page and their friends. So that way they're always reminded of who I am and what I do. So that's definitely one. And then obviously before and after pictures, I'm pretty sure, is it okay for you to have those?
We do mostly after pictures.
Got it.
And the goal with that is to create this feeling that you're over the problem. You know what I mean? And most of the people, they don't want to deal with the stress of being in an accident. They don't want to be reminded of the stressful part of the accident. But if you see a nice shiny car leaving the shop, that means that it worked, and they're happy with that.
That makes sense. That makes sense. No, I would definitely keep that. And even if doing small things like raffles or contests on social media, it's not exactly getting that business right away. But what it does do is when someone remembers, oh, I think I commented on that one post from the collision page, they go back to their comments and say, okay, which person, which page did I do to engage with, and then refer that person over, right? So it's just about how can we get more engagement, and or create a background ad that's just always running in a 20-mile radius, and it could be $100 a week, right? As something like that, or it can be even more. But just, hey, how can I create a brand awareness to where everyone's always remembering who I am, right? Always. Or how can I get more likes to my page in order to then build a following so that they can consistently remember me, right? And on the Instagram side, it's a little more easier because you can have someone like a digital agency say, hey, you know what? All the hashtags on Covina CA, I want someone to start liking and commenting on everyone's posts, right? Because the locals are my audience, right? So remember, if you see someone like, random person like my posts, you're like, who the heck is this person? And then when they go to your profile, boom, you got them. Right. So it's always being like almost like the digital mayor of your city. And the way you can do that is to, engage with those local hashtags. Covina CA, sometimes hashtag the zip code is also another good one to do some outreach.
So when we make the IG posts, which I'm the one who does that, so that might be an area where I need to be more effective. I will hashtag collision repair, Covina CA. And there's certain Covina hashtags that are more popular, and I'll use those.
Exactly.
But how do I create interaction? How is that?
I would say by giving interaction. That's how you can start creating interaction, is always by giving it. So a lot of people will focus on the posts, which are good, but you have to do the outreach, right? Comment on other people's stuff, like their stuff, right? Watch their stories. Right. And even if it's, hey, you know what, let me get an assistant or the marketing agency, whoever, I've even seen people do virtual assistants where they'll get VPNs, right, in Los Angeles, and then just have them engage on their Instagram account, right? You could be 3 hours a day, right? Let me go to hashtag Covina and start commenting and liking people's posts just so that way they see, DG Collision Center liked
and it works the same in the Facebook groups. The more I comment on someone's, hey, can you give me a plumber? Or can you give me this happened to me? And I'll say, oh my God, that happened to me the other day. And so it creates like a friendship or an awareness of my presence in the community.
Exactly. And another thing too, so I think that's the Instagram side, is giving engagement so you can take back, so you can they can engage with you or follow you. Another thing to do is maybe even creating not a loyalty program, but a way to build a list to always just have an email sent out so they remember you. Right. So again, it could be a raffle, like, hey, give me your name and email, and we'll put you in a raffle for X or this or a gift card or whatever the case is. And I'm just need to get like data. Exactly. A car wash. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Right. Yeah, no,
and all you need is the data to completely.
I saw on one of Swire's shows previous that a guy, he was giving out candy in school, and he said, you need to find out some way to give out candy from your business, and that way you can get a feeling of what you offer and how it goes. I thought it made a lot of sense.
Shannon's the candy man. You do know that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah, that was
him. Man, right on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And other question, I want to jump in and get your take on this, Mike. Dan has been in the industry for a long time, and I had a previous conversation, a show with him. He's really good at his customer service, and they have a process down, so they follow the industry guideline. And I think, jump in real quick, Dan. One of the goal that he wants to do, he wants more corporate account. What that means is it could be a local delivering company who has a fleet of trucks, 20 trucks. maybe plumbers, or maybe even he worked with the police department, all those police cars that might be damaged, or even Amazon delivery. They have a fleet of a lot of trucks that always be on the road. So that means that Dan has to connect with the person who in charge of that company, maybe their fleet manager. So any suggestion that you could have for targeting corporate account within the target radius?
Sure. And Dan, did you want to specify anything before
I can tell you what we're currently doing and
Sure.
and how I've done it, and then maybe you can say, hey, try this. We have accounts with U-Haul. We have a FedEx account, and we also have Covina DPW, which encompasses the police department and all the city maintenance vehicles. Those people, the DPW, I just literally knocked on their door. The first day I came to the shop, I walked around the neighborhood and I literally was like, hey, I didn't even have a card in my hand. I just said, hey, I just opened a shop. And we developed a good relationship that way. U-Haul I met through Chamber of Commerce, and the FedEx crew that I work with was referred from a previous client. So none of it has been like a conventional or some proven process,
So everything you just did is conventional, proven process.
All right, perfect.
Marketing, it might not be where you've reached out with something virtual, but from referrals, door knocking, and networking groups, those are probably the three most prevalent places where people grow their business. Dan, my first and foremost suggestion is just kind of top of mind is, do you have a plan? So it sounds like the three of these just kind of happen sporadically.
Yeah.
My challenge to you would be, what's your goal each week? I know running a business takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of focus. So maybe it's create a list. Just create a list of all the strategic partners in your area. And it doesn't have to be something like a U-Haul or FedEx. Maybe it's some lawyers or insurance companies who they might be able to, refer maybe on an individual basis. So start to think outside the box. What would good strategic partners be in your world?
Right.
Whether maybe it's a school, they've got a, I don't know, driver's ed class or something, and they're crashing a lot, or
they need bumpers all the time.
Kids eventually get in accidents, so maybe it's some type of idea where you're working with local school districts on a voluntary basis, helping. Just like Apple does. Apple gives so many discounts, so much awareness of Apple product to the schools, because then who uses Apple products? The people who use them in the schools.
Right.
Very, in a way.
I was actually doing that at Baldwin Park.
Okay.
I was going in and kind of highlighting for the shop class. So it's
Awesome.
kind of a similar thing.
And again, get some interns, get some people who are interested, come into your shop, and it's you start to get that fresh blood. But to create a plan, so once you get your list, once you have anywhere from 20 to 100 names on a list, is work out a plan. The number is 7 interactions before you typically get your first meeting. So if you knock on a door, that's 1.
Right.
Pick up the phone and call, that's 2. Send an email, 3. So what's your plan of engagement? So typically it's about 7 if you get a meeting. So going through a special cadence where maybe it's first and foremost reaching out. I'm in the area, would love to talk about how we could collaborate.
Right.
Following up with, hey, didn't hear back from you, just wanted to check in. And then after a couple messages, probably not interested, sent 5 or 6 messages.
Right.
So that would be my first and foremost, is create a plan. And then what are you going to do every single week? Shannon and I, we were just doing this on Tuesday, creating a plan that what are you going to do every single day, week, month? It's very easy to have these ideas on a show like this, get all pumped up, start saying, all right, I'm going to make.
Right. Yeah, and if they just spin in your head, they don't come to fruition.
Exactly. Get them on paper, get them in a plan where it's what I call a cookbook. And it's just a matter of putting it into play every single day. So if it's 5 calls a day, get it done before 10 a.m.
That's easy. Yeah, that's super easy.
My saying is get it done before 10 a.m. if it's worth doing. Because something's going to come in. You're going to have something's going to go wrong in the shop. Something's going to go great. You're going to all of a sudden it's going to be 11:30 and your day is just flying. And you're going. It's like 5 calls. I'll do that tomorrow. Because whatever it might be, it becomes low on your priority as the clients come in. And
getting the cars that are here done becomes number one, and but both are equally important. You need to, one leaves, you need to replace it with one.
So prospecting is the lifeblood of all business. And as soon as you stop focusing on that is when you stop growing. So you always have to have that top of mind priority. Obviously customer service is so incredibly important because we want people to come back. Yeah. And then, we've talked about this on the show before, is what type of referral strategy do you have? So,
I mean, for me, the strategy is, I'm in networking groups. I met Swire through BNI, like I said, Chamber of Commerce. Those are some of my referral sources. They're real traditional. You meet with these people, you help them, they help you. Other than that, it's just, like A1 customer service. The actual customers, word of mouth referrals.
And I would just ask, when you've done good business and you hand them back their automobile and they're like, Dan, this is nice. Do you have an ask? Does your team ask for, is there anyone in their world who makes sense to connect with? Anyone?
We always end the transaction with, if you or any of your friends ever need anything, related to auto body, even advice, please think of us. And that's about it. But it I think that's working pretty well.
Good. And just a slight tweak on that is, rather than just think of us, is just simply, do any of your friends?
Who is it? Can I reach out to them? Yeah.
Just, just being a little bit more proactive. Do any of your friends need this? First question.
Right.
When they say, let me think about it, you can then also,
as opposed to if you know someone, if it comes up, do you know someone?
And then
that changes that sentence quite a bit.
And then question number 2, when most people are going to say, Dan, let me think about it. Let me get back to you. Oh, okay, no problem. Also, if you know or work with any organizations like a U-Haul, like a FedEx, or like a DWP,
right?
Would you be comfortable connecting us? And then you extend it out, because now you had that corporate component in there, and now you're not just okay with. Now remember, you did good business.
Well, and you're also building accountability with that very customer, because you're letting them know that they can trust referring you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that's a great way to do it.
And then my last piece on this is, what's 6 months down the road or 12 months down the road? So they've left a lot. They're happy. Their car is back to normal. 6 months down the road, are you checking back in? Out of sight, out of mind.
Pretty seldom. I mean, if it's someone that I've made a connection with and feel some friendship, I'll reach out here and there. But yeah, that makes sense to make that part of the process. Yeah.
And I would go back to what Shannon was saying, and I'd love to know, maybe Shannon, I'll pass the ball to you, but do you put them into a reminder down the road? So are you, maintaining a relationship, not just immediately, but down the road? I'm not asking them to send them an email every single week, like, some of the larger corporations do, but just, being present on a regular basis is, once they're there, hey, on their birthdays, on holidays, are you just present in their world? Because let's be honest, we're a little bit more careless around those times, and that's when we get into fender benders, and so just being present in those times.
Yeah. Quick observation here then, because when you're talking about corporate account, they have the structure. For example, for DWP and for bigger corporation, they don't just buy or purchase like individual like us would do. So I think you're a great networker. So think about maybe trying to target another corporate client, right? Think about other people that already doing business with them. For example, it could be a printer salesman, or it could be the maintenance manager, or people who service their electricity. So they already have the relationship with them. They know what the purchasing process will be. Ask to speak with the purchasing. For example, government agency. I know that for certain one of them, you can actually schedule for a meeting to actually see the buyer to pitch what you have. They call it an exploration meeting. So you can do that for a lot of the city agency. So then you can actually go in and talk to the buyer. Or with through networking, you can actually ask, maybe there are a company doing their payroll, who the buyer will be, and get introduction that way. So you're actually going in, you skipping 2-3 levels of their corporation. If you get to speak to the buyer, then they understand what your process will be. If you fit all the criteria, which you can ask your referral partner to tell you about before you're going in, then you make a very stronger case, because all of them are, if you fit all the checkbox, all the criteria, all the requirements that they have, the chances that you landing a corporate job is higher than you just, trying to figure out where to go within their purchasing system.
A little bit of a pre-qualification.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So do you guys know anybody?
I like it. Using it right away.
Already.
I know the LA County does. They actually have, right now it's done virtually. They actually have, meet the buyer, I think they call it. So they actually have all the agencies from the LA County. They'll have an outreach program that they have all the booths from DWP, from all the agencies. They actually have buyers there to meet and qualify, or have you register with the county. So actually that a good opportunity to start. And, for the local businesses, Chamber of Commerce has always helped. Ask people in the chamber.
Yeah. And they'll have that pre-qual information.
Shannon, going back to the digital marketing question. So if Dan wants to have the circle within 20-mile radius, are there additional things that he could do to just focus in on, 20-mile radius around his shop?
Oh, 100%. I mean, Facebook owns Instagram, so you can do the same Facebook and Instagram ad, but you can definitely put in your address and then put, I want a 20-mile radius of anyone in this point to see what I'm doing. And you can do people that lived in that location, or people that are just going by that location or recently were in that location as well to see that ad, so that's definitely one way to do it too. I also, you said about Facebook groups. I know too that there's like an Uber Facebook group. I'm not sure if it's by location too, but that might be something also to look into.
Specifically for Uber drivers, or?
Right, because I know they get into a good amount of.
We repair tons of Uber vehicles, and that there's only a few insurance companies that do it. We've learned their processes pretty well. So.
Oh, nice. Are you connected with those insurance companies? I'm pretty sure you are, right?
I mean, we're only connected with them on the level of processing the repair and doing the claims. There's a few certifications that we're working on to become direct repair with the insurance companies.
Oh, nice.
So we haven't yet got the qualifications, but we're working on that.
And once you do, I'm pretty sure you can target people that, work for Uber and, on Facebook too, and say, hey, this is a new service that we have,
Right,
subscribe.
Right. We're certified with your insurance company. So
exactly.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
In those cases, it takes a lot of your marketing. You don't need it. They're already coming to you. The insurance company directs them.
Perfect. Perfect. No, that's awesome.
Dan, what about rental cars? Any rental car?
We don't repair any rental cars yet. We're developing a relationship with Enterprise right here in Covina. I'm getting in pretty good with them, and so I need to come at them with a plan, like you said, and sit down and see what it would take to repair those cars.
And when you say you're getting in pretty good with them, what does that mean? You just like,
well, just like I know the managers, and and some of the porters and the people that work there, they know us by name. They allow customers to drop the cars here at the shop as opposed to bring it back there. So those sort of things is kind of it's slowly developing our relationship.
So that's what I would say is, I know we only have a minute or two before Swire kicks us off, but that would, I think, would be a good next step, is reach out to local rental car dealerships or the specific one you have a relationship and say, hey, I know things are crazy lately. Does it make sense for us to connect over the next week or two? I've got some ideas on how we might be able to collaborate. What do you think?
Yeah,
And
I like
then
that.
get that conversation going with more intent, though. Not just, hey, let's sit down and have a lunch and just, like rub elbows, but come with a win-win strategy of why it makes sense to be more strategic. And you're here. There's going to be companies that come and go over the next couple months. You're a staple in Covina. You want to be the rock that they go to. And then more importantly, you'll be able to then expand off of those relationships.
Right. And what type of key points do you think I should bring to that presentation?
So I think first and foremost, what you see as the outcome. So I don't see it as a presentation. I would see it more as going in and asking questions.
Or proposition, maybe something like that.
So even before you get there, I would go in more with what information would you want from them? So how often would you be able to maintain them? How many cars? So go in and asking questions, not going and telling what you can do for them. That will come second. And obviously there's only 60 seconds left. We can keep talking after the show ends, but I would say I would go in more with trying to find out what they need as opposed to telling them what you can do for them.
Right.
Because that'll be your energy going.
That makes a ton of sense. If given a choice, people can shun your idea off or say no. But if you're already assuming, hey, this is what we're going to be able to do, oftentimes it just goes that way.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, like Mike always says, 80-20, 80% them talking, 20% you talking. Because I think if you go there and ask question, if they're thinking about switching, they might tell you things that they're not happy with the current vendor. Then you listen in and think if you can help them, then you offer it to them. But by you telling them what you can do, I'm sure that other body shop could do similar. So 80-20, learn that from Mike.
Every one of your competition is going to be saying the same thing. This goes for everyone who's listening. There's 8 billion people on this planet. We're in a very, very competitive world, and everyone has a message that's very similar to someone else. So you have to be different, and you be different by asking better questions. Then one question I always like to finish with is, you got a lot of great information from Swire, Shannon. What's 1 or 2 things you can commit to when the show ends?
For me, I can commit to going to enterprise and listening to what they need, for sure. And another thing is the Facebook ads for the 20 mile radius to create engagement and awareness.
Nice. Yeah. Well, let me know if you need that too, for sure.
All right, thank you guys, and thank you Dan for coming, and thank you guys, for the good information.
Yeah, thanks for your advice, guys.
All right, take care.